Casey sat in the back of the SUV with her attorney, Jose Baez. They pulled right into the garage so that we couldn't ask any questions. Two guys who appeared to be private security guards were right behind them. George and Cindy Anthony had already driven their vehicles out of the garage to make room for Casey's return. When I tried to find out how Cindy felt about Casey coming home again, she drowned out my questions with a loud alarm.
Cindy, did you want to say anything about Casey coming home? Cindy, did you want to say anything?
Orange County deputies were around to make sure the situation didn't get out of hand, but the people we believe were private security guards left, and so did Casey's attorney. One of the Anthony's neighbors have already put up yellow tape around their home and a no trespassing sign.
Straight out to the Anthony home, I understand, Natisha Lance, that police are now at the home and the defense attorney, Jose Baez.
Yes, Nancy, hold on just a moment. I'm being asked to step out of the street by police right behind me. Could you repeat the question again?
Yes, tell me what's happening.
Right now, police, as you just saw, who asked me to step out of the street, are here. They had asked the protesters who are still in front of the house that they can stay there, but they cannot scream and make noise and disturb the other neighbors in the neighborhood. And the police officers are still patrolling up and down the street, trying to keep the peace as best they can. There are other protesters who are across the street from the Anthony home, still holding their signs, but silently keeping a watch on the home and silently doing their protesting.
I understand that defense attorney Jose Baez is also there.
Yes, Jose Baez did actually just arrive at the home. He went inside. He didn't even look across the street over at media, didn't look at the protesters, went to the door. Cindy Anthony opened the door for him, and he went right inside.
Any idea why?
You know, it's anyone's guess, Nancy. Casey came out of jail today, so possibly they are discussing some things for the future, maybe setting up some appointments. She does have to meet with her home confinement officer on Monday, so maybe she has to give them a schedule, so maybe they are trying to figure out what that schedule will be so that she can give it to them on Monday.
Back to Leonard Padilla, bounty hunter who first sprung Casey Anthony out of jail. You were there in the home shortly after her release the first time. What was it like inside that home? What are they going through right now?
Well, right now probably Jose is huddled with Casey in one of the rooms by himself with her because he can't have anybody else in there, otherwise it destroys the attorney-client privilege. And I don't know if George is home. He might still be at work. But Cindy herself will be in the kitchen fixing dinner. And I don't know if the brother Lee is there or not.
Leonard, you actually talked to them on numerous occasions. Do you think the grandparents really believe Casey Anthony?
No, they know the truth. Casey's already divulged it to Lee. Lee has informed Cindy. As far as George, that I wouldn't know. He's the guy that's really, you know, sometimes kept out of the loop, and I feel real sorry for him.
Well, what do you mean she has divulged the truth?
Well, I believe that after the samples came out from the Tennessee and the FBI a week ago, more than a week ago, 10 days ago, that she probably told Lee, who told Cindy, because their whole attitude changed dramatically the very next morning. Thursday morning, it was kind of an offensive attack on she's alive, she's alive. Somebody put a body in the car, and all that kind of stuff started coming out real strong.
But if they really believe that there was another body in the car, not little Kelly, then that seems as if they're buying Casey Anthony's story.
No, they're not buying her story. They know what happened. They're just trying to make the best of it. They lost a granddaughter. They don't want to lose a daughter. Out
to the lines, Mike in Florida. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I'm good, dear. What's your question?
I have a question about the searching. I know EquiSearch is out here searching for Caylee's body, whether she's dead or alive. And my question regarding the family, you know, they're claiming that nobody's or people aren't doing enough for this search. Why aren't they out there volunteering their time to help EquiSearch search for their granddaughter?
Interesting question. Mandy Albritton is with EquiSearch. She has been searching for Caylee. Why isn't the family out searching?
Interesting question. You're right. It is unusual that they're not out. I can't answer that. Most parents are out beating the bushes with us every day.
Now, you're having a search tomorrow morning, right?
Yes, ma'am.
For people that want to volunteer, where should they go?
6317 McCoy Road, And our command station is set up. They can come anytime throughout the day, and we'd be glad to put them on a team and get them out to help.
And that's there in Orlando?
Yes.
What hours do you guys search?
Well, we start at 8 a.m. and send our last teams out about 5:30.
Where do you believe the search will be tomorrow?
Well, it'll still concentrate in and around the airport.
Mandy, why are you searching around the airport?
Based on the law enforcement investigation, that's where they believe we need to look. We're not sending searchers out into a random field. I'm not going to jeopardize anyone's health or safety in an area where we don't think she is.
Back to Natisha, what is happening there at the home?
Well, police are still staying around the area, Nancy, kind of patrolling up and down the street. We don't know exactly what they're doing. It seems as if they're still trying to keep the peace with protesters over here, trying to make sure that they stay out of the middle of the street and onto either side of the sidewalk, either on the side that is the Anthony's home is on, or on the other side across the street.
Natisha, just for a moment, let me get you to switch gears, everyone. Natisha Lance joining us there at the Anthony home. Cindy Anthony, the grandmother, is totally supporting her daughter, but as the evidence mounts, many people find it difficult to believe she has walked free again. The evidence mounting, the state building a case of murder against Casey Anthony. Tell me what these new charges are specifically, Natisha.
Well, the new charges specifically, Nancy, it's 2 counts each of uttering a forged check, petty theft, and fraudulent use of a personal ID. And those come from Casey Anthony's friend, Amy Huzanga, who she said she went out of town, she left her car with Casey, she had her checkbook in the car. Casey apparently took her checkbook, went on a shopping spree of sorts, went to Target, started writing checks out, and cleared her bank account out of about $700.
To the lawyers, Daniel Horowitz out of San Francisco, Joey Jackson out of New York. Daniel Horowitz, do you believe that this is part of a police strategy? Because police knew about these checks several weeks ago. I read about them in a sworn affidavit that went with a search warrant. But yet they let her be released, then rearrested.
Well, Nancy, you know how it is. They don't want to arrest her for murder until they're ready. Otherwise, the clock starts ticking, and they'll be forced by Mr. Baez, who's a smart attorney, to trial before they're ready. So they're letting her out, and then when public pressure mounts, they're putting her back in. But they really don't have a murder case. I disagree with you when they say they're putting together a murder case. You have a child who's missing, but to me it's either an accidental death or maybe a crime of passion. They have no sign of premeditation.
Well, let me see Horowitz just a moment. Horowitz, what did you do? Look in your crystal ball and determine how the murder took place? Okay, I see you shaking your head. Yes, that's good to know.
Well,
You
first
can
of all,
add
listen to the
clairvoyant.
nonsense.
You can add clairvoyant to your ad in the Yellow Pages.
No, listen, I don't have an ad in the Yellow Pages, but I listened to that nonsense about the chloroform. You know what that chloroform was? Cleaning. She cleaned the trunk. The child died in the house, buried the child in panic, transported it, and cleaned it. Yes.
No. Daniel Horowitz, do your research. Chloroform has been banned for consumer use since around 1977
I know,
by
but
the
she
FDA.
looked it up, and it's a good cleaner.
If you want to do cleaning, hop on down to the Piggly Wiggly and get some Lysol and some 409. You know, Joey Jackson, don't give me second verse, same as the first.
No, listen, let me just say this. Here's the reality, Nancy. Here's my concern. If they want to charge her with murder, they should charge her with murder. I do agree that they are building a case, but at this point, apparently, there's some lack of confidence with the case, and they're reluctant to go forward. The other issue is...
You don't know that, Jackson, that lack of confidence, but I do agree with you. The longer they have to build the case, the better for them.
And of course, you don't want to jump the gun, so to speak, and proceed too early when there could be other evidence that needs to be unearthed. But at this time, clearly they're building a case. They're not yet ready to move forward with it. But if they want to arrest her, stop speculating about chloroform, arrest her.
Well, they've got plenty to arrest her on all these bad checks for right now. Everybody, let's take a quick break. And as we go to break,